everyone, hope you're keeping safe out there. Today I thought I'd take a look at the Marvel Legends Spider-Man Retro Wave Mysterio. Let's get down to it, shall we? I picked this figure up from the fine folks over at Comics and Cocktails. As always, I recommend them, they're a great site. They do free shipping in the UK and they get a lot of good figures in for really good prices, so yeah, go check them out. Okay, so as usual, before I get into the figure itself, I thought I'd just go over the character in a little bit of detail. You know, my usual spiel. Now, Mysterio, or this version of Mysterio, there's actually quite a few, is Quentin Beck, a former special effects engineer, stuntman, guy who used to work in the films. And he decided to put that knowledge, that expertise, to a life of crime. Now, the character actually appeared quite early in Spider-Man's run. It was, well, actually, I think probably in the first 7 or 8 issues of Spider-Man. In fact, he was so early, he was in the original Sinister Six, which was when the writers got to the point where they thought, well, we've got 6 villains for Spider-Man, what do we do next? Oh, I know, let's just get him to face all of them at once. And it worked. You still see Sinister Six nowadays. Mysterio continued to be a recurring Spider-Man villain, having some quite memorable appearances and always bringing a flair for the dramatic to every issue he appeared in. Unfortunately, he decided to, well, after trying to force Daredevil to do it, he ended up taking his own life. Though, like most Marvel comic book characters and comic book characters in general, that didn't stick and he eventually, well, got better. At the moment, he's currently, well, he has been starring in one of my actual favourite current Marvel books, The Amazing Mary Jane, where Mysterio has decided to go legit and produce a film about his life. And it's actually a really good series. It's a lot of fun, it's entertaining, it's not too depressing, it does tackle some slightly depressing things, or some realistic things. The real aspects of, you know, trying to shoot a film, trying to get past a criminal past, and yeah, the next issue coming out in, it's been cancelled, hasn't it? Yep, it's been cancelled. I hate 2020. Outside of comic books, Mysterio has appeared in pretty much every Spider-Man cartoon, from the 1960s classic to the 90s version to modern versions. He's also appeared in films. He was played by Jake Gyllenhaal in Spider-Man Far From Home. It's not my favourite Marvel movie, but I do really like Mysterio in it, especially the way they did a modern take on the way he uses special effects. And that one scene where he sends Spider-Man for like this real trippy, sort of just illusions everywhere. That was actually an amazing scene. Probably actually my favourite, like, 2-minute scene in any Marvel movie. It was really great. And that is probably like most people's understanding of Mysterio, but my actual favourite Mysterio, it's got to be the one from the Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions game, because not only does it look great, he's voiced by David Mother-Loving K, the voice of Beast Wars Megatron from Transformers. And what more can you want than that? Oh, still not cool enough for you? The Sam Raimi films. You noticed a certain actor kept appearing in it, in every film? Yeah, Bruce the Chin Campbell was meant to be Mysterio. There's even a couple of like sketch storyboard panels show what might have happened in a 4th movie. So yeah, come on, what other character can be both Beast Wars Megatron and Ash from the Evil Dead? No other character can be this cool. Yeah, sorry, that was me going on for a little bit there. So the figure itself. The figure is basically a re-release of the version that came in the Lizard Build-A-Figure wave. I had that figure. I didn't like it. I think it was only due to the sculpt. I'll get this out of the way. The sculpting on this figure is amazing. I mean, look at this thing. Okay, I'll go through it. It's got the iconic fishbowl head, which in this version is actually done a lot better. In the old one it was very opaque. This, it's quite pearlescent. Looks marvellous. The cape itself is nice. It's got this lovely like fan patterned interior on the inside. Great texture to it. The boots and the gloves are done in gold, which is a lot better than the previous version where they're like a metallic green. I think that was the problem with the old version. It was too green. When I think Mysterio, I think sort of like the mix of green and purple, which is obviously the colours most Spider-Man villains get, and the gold as the accent colour, and this figure delivers that really well. Not only that, but the figure is really well articulated. It's got all the great modern Marvel Legends articulation. The head doesn't move. Well, okay, no, let me rephrase that. You can't move the helmeted head, but why would you want to? It's a sphere. But you can move the head underneath it. I'll get to that in a sec. When it comes to accessories, the figure comes with the smoke effects that the figure came with previously, the Lizard Wave. These are cast in a lovely translucent plastic. They attach to the feet, or you can attach them to the arms if you want, but I think they work better on the feet, to give the sort of smoky, illusionary effect, and they work really well. Now, as I was saying, the figure does have a head underneath the helmet, and this is pretty much the big departure from the previous releases figure. The previous version had this sort of like, it was a skull with a snake coming out of it, and it came in two colours. You either got it in a pearly translucent white or a translucent green. This one, however, does something slightly different. It instead takes the, now looking at it, I thought it might have been the Peter Parker 2-pack head, but it's not, I've been informed. It's the Jamie Madrox Multiple Man head, that cast in the same sort of translucent green plastic as the effects. I don't know why they did that. I mean, okay, I don't know why he's got a translucent head for, or translucent head for 1 and 2. Yeah, Quentin Beck looks like one of the Three Stooges, really. He's got an awful bowl cut, and he's a little middle-aged looking. He's definitely not this head, but it'll probably sit in a bits box somewhere. Maybe he's a holographic Spider-Man head, or holographic Peter Parker head. I don't know, but that's beside the point. The figure itself looks great. It's really, really good. As someone who had the previous figure, this is in every way to me an update of it. One thing I've really got to laud this figure for, and I really should have done this with the previous retro figures I reviewed, but the figure comes on this wonderful retro card back, which is just, it's based pretty much 100% on the 90s Spider-Man cartoon toys, the packaging they came in. And as someone who had those toys, I saw this and it's like, oh, this is my childhood right there. I absolutely adore it. Which is kind of ironic because like the packaging is very 90s, but the figures themselves are, I don't know, they have a timeless quality. I think they're sort of more 60s and 70s based figures. I mean they obviously would fit in with the Spider-Man. A lot of these Spider-Man designs are timeless, but I kind of get the feeling the toys are very 60s, the packaging is very 90s. Between the two of them, they're hitting everyone's nostalgia bone pretty hard. And I just thought it was worth bringing up just how beautiful they are. I'm actually keeping these packages, well, this packaging, in a little container upstairs in my attic, because I think these are beautiful. And if ever I do want to resell them, which I actually kind of doubt, but if I ever do, I couldn't deny the next person who has them just the beauty of this packaging. It's amazing. Okay, so final thoughts time. What do I think? I think you should go out and buy this figure, or go out and order it, because I don't know where you buy physical figures anymore, apart from, Forbidden Planet. Anyway, just go online, go to Comics and Cocktails, go on to In Demand, go on Kapow, go on any of the usual retailers, and just get this figure. I can't recommend it highly enough. Okay, well, that's it. As always, folks, stay safe, stay sane, and I'll see you next time. Ta-da!